Well, you can listen to my daily commentary, the Huckabee Report, 3 times a day on 600 radio stations, or have it delivered to your smartphone in a podcast form. And if you're not yet my Facebook friend or follow me on Twitter, sign up today. All the details are at MikeHuckabee.com. According to a new AP GFK poll on the midterms, 44% of likely women voters favor Republicans as opposed to 42% who favor the Democrats. But in September, the same poll showed women preferred Democrats 47 to 40%. So what's the reason for the change? We're back with our panel. Jessica, let me start with you on this one. I mean, that's a pretty big turn. Democrats are losing support of women. Republicans are gaining them. What's going on? I mean, I thought we were told that there was a war on women, and what women really care about is birth control. Is that all? It's not
just birth control. I mean, birth control is part of a larger issue of access to health care, and I think that women care about that generally. But as we've been discussing for the last few months, I mean, they care about national security a lot. We saw this phenomenon after 9/11 as well. You know, women's interests, they shifted towards becoming national security moms instead of being soccer moms or having those other interests. And I think that the attacks by ISIS and actually what's going on with Ebola has caused a shift then in
So
preference.
They don't trust the Democrats are going to take as good a care of those issues as the Republicans.
I don't know necessarily if it's that. And I mean, 42 to 44%, that's within the margin of error. You know, I look at statistics
but it was
for
47, 40.
I'm not saying there isn't a drop, but I mean, we're essentially, I mean, it's closer. Obviously, it's right around the same level that it was, but it's not like we haven't seen a swing that it's, you know, 50-40 at this point, you know.
Well, just look at what's going on in the Senate Colorado race. I mean, Mark Udall is losing. Cory Gardner, the Republican, gained ground and is actually winning now. And the singular focus on that race was the war on women. And Udall, or the birth control, and he was going after them on war on women's issues. And the people in Colorado said enough, because they said this is not that important. We have other bigger issues going on here. And access to birth control is not something that women in this country really actually have to worry about. So what are we doing here? So this whole mantra of war on women is actually a myth. You know, if you want to look at a war on women, Obamacare, the way the economy is, and the mishandling of Ebola and the government being completely inept, a president of the United States who is completely disengaged from the American people, women look at that and go, this is not the kind of leadership that we feel comfortable with in this country. And that's why you see that shift.
Daniel, Tara brought up Ebola. Let's talk about Ebola a minute. The administration's handling of Ebola has been all over the map. You know, we don't need a czar. Yeah, now we're going to get a czar. But he's not really a medical guy. He's a political guy. He's an operative. We're not going to ban travel. But, you know, then people saying maybe we should. Is that part of what you see, not just with women, but with voters generally? People just don't know they can trust this administration.
That's exactly right. I think, look, even with the Ebola czar, where's he been? He's missing in action. I've yet to see him.
Fundraiser with the president the other night.
Look, you know, it's a reflection, sort of how lost they are, of the ineptitude that they've messed up the economy, that they've messed up, you know, in the areas of foreign policy. That the Latino community is hurting with high unemployment rates, 2 points higher than everybody else. Labor participation rate worse than in the 70s. On Ebola, you're starting to see the same thing, that there is no control. You have to show strength and you have to show leadership. At the same time, you have to show compassion. Where's the strength in the leadership? It's been all promises and no delivery.
It's common sense.
We've only got about
no
30
common
seconds.
sense in this approach at all. The American people recognize that.
Jessica, we only got about 30 seconds, so I want to get this from you. Ron Klain's appointment as the Ebola czar. What was that about?
Well, it was about solving a problem, or at least making an attempt to solve a problem, to have a public face for that crisis. The president is dealing with tens of crises right at this moment, and I'm not saying that he couldn't have done better. It's a huge problem, and American people are scared. 65% now say that they're frightened of it, and only 22% trust the president to deal with it. So if you give someone, a person who can be the face of it, they can then trust that person, and that can be their go-to for that. But I'm not going to defend it. It's also a crisis, though, that I don't think necessarily anyone else would have handled any better. I don't think George Bush necessarily would have handled it better. I mean, it's their extenuating circumstance.
No, George Bush would not have. He would not have appointed a political hack lawyer who has no experience in infectious disease or medical training into a position that requires that.
We've got to wrap it up.
Come on.
Look, Jessica, the only thing I would counter with is that the only thing Ron Klain has run is a political campaign. If Ebola is a political issue, then he's the guy.
Well,
but if it's a public health issue, if it is an issue of organizing major things, looks like a military general, a former governor, somebody who's headed a major agency would have been. Wish we had more time, but we don't. We're finished. So thank you guys very much. It has been great to have all of you. Thank you.